Hello, Transurfers and the Transurfing Curious. I am Renee Garcia, and this is your Reality Transurfing Express lesson of the day. This is the only YouTube channel endorsed by Vadim Zeland covering the topics of transurfing and the concepts. Please subscribe if you have not already. We greatly appreciate your subscription here. And don't forget to comment and like this video if it has value to you. So to get my lesson started for the day, I'm going to be talking about why we sometimes don't have what we really want, or what quantity we want. Okay, so why we don't have as much money as we want, why we don't have the meaningful romantic relationship we want, why we don't have the adventure that we want, or whatever it is that you feel your reality is lacking today, why that is exactly. So I would like to remind everyone, and for you hardcore transurfers out there, I'm sure some of this will be repetitive, but remember, this is about immersion. So even if you've heard this before, listen to it again, because it will help sort of solidify this knowledge in your mind and keep you thinking in the direction of transurfing. So remember, we have an infinite number of lifelines and life tracks in our reality, okay? And Vadim Zeland presents to us the idea of the wave of success and the induced transition. Okay, so how I like to envision it is the wave of success can take me all the way up here to this highest track. This is where the highest version of myself exists. This is where I have everything that I want, or a lot of what I want. This is where I have the money that I want, the romantic relationship that I want, the adventure, the freedom, all the good stuff that you can imagine having in your reality. It exists high up on these upper life tracks, okay? And it's the wave of fortune that takes me up there. Now, in turn, the polarity to this is obviously the induced transition, which puts you on the lowest track if you don't stop it, okay? So this is where lack is. This is where negative thinking that your life is hard and things don't come to you easy, and depression, anxiety, feelings of not being in tune with your reality, not feeling good about who you are or where you are in life, that is here. Okay, so what's happening here and what gets us to these places is this spiral upward or downward, if you will, that sort of happens like this, okay? Things increase exponentially in the alternative space, and I'll tell you why. So it goes either up or it goes down, and things either get better and better and better, or they get worse and worse and worse. And the reason for that is, let's say you start on, ground zero, kind of a middle track, okay? And you decide that you are going to become a transurfer and you are going to use these concepts to make your reality better. Now, when you decide and you set the intention that you are in fact the one who creates your own reality, and you have accepted accountability for your track, and you are ready to move upward to these furthered lifelines, what's going to happen is you're going to start focusing on your reality, highlighting a sector of your reality that supports and provides you evidence to, that's in line with you moving to these higher tracks. So that's what happened with me. So 5 years ago when I found transurfing, I was in a pretty bad place, And I decided that I was going to take this knowledge and I was going to kill it. I was really going to focus on it. I was going to focus on learning it, and I was going to start highlighting a different sector of reality. So when I decided that I was going to do this, what I did is I started focusing on the positive in my environment. And if I could find one positive thing to really focus on, then all of a sudden I was tuning my frequency to the positive. So when I tuned my frequency to the positive, then that one thing turned into two things, and then that two things turned into four things, and then that four things turned into eight things, and it exponentially took me up to one of these higher tracks. It exponentially started to increase positive material, right? More money, better relationships. My romantic partner was on one of these higher tracks. Things just started to very rapidly improve, okay? But again, it can go the same direction or the same in an extreme way downward, okay? So it is about what information and what evidence you decide to collect in your environment and which theory you are collecting evidence to support, okay? If you decide that you are going to live and exist up here on one of these higher tracks, you are going to meet the wave of success often, you are not going to induce transition and go down, okay? And if you start to, you are going to catch yourself and stop highlighting that sector of reality and remind yourself that you have a new sector of reality that you have in fact decided to highlight, okay? So another thing is why we don't oftentimes have what we really want is because we have not given in to the flow. The flow of variations is real. It is the path of least resistance. Ever since I decided to give into the flow of variations, my life and my energy levels and my mindset is much, much different than it was before. I have more energy to do things that fuel a better reality for me because I am not fighting with that current any longer. I'm not using inner intention as my sole source of energy. This is exhausting. It takes a lot more to use inner intention. Using outer intention in your reality is letting your reality flow up to you, okay? This is you going down the river and the river taking you by the things that you need to improve your life. You don't have to stress and worry and toil and fight the current. There are lots of things downstream, but you have to let go. And a lot of times why we don't have what we want is because we have importance, we've built excess potential, we are holding on to something firmly in our reality. And the fact is, oftentimes when you're on a specific life track and you've done whatever you can do on that track, right? You've exhausted your efforts, you've taken all the opportunities that you can find. You might be maxed out on that track. There's nothing left for you there, okay? Oftentimes when we feel stuck, we feel we're not going anywhere, we're not seeing the results we want. This is being stuck on a life track that you've probably tapped out. So now is the time to get yourself off that track and up to higher tracks. So the reason that I'm creating this video today is somebody actually asked me, how do I get up to these higher tracks? And I realized that this is such an obvious answer that it oftentimes eludes people. And what the answer is transurfing. Transurfing is the thing that gets you to these higher tracks, okay? So I'll break it down for you. Having a deep understanding of the space of variations or the alternative space, right? Starting to see and view your world as limitless. This is so valuable. Our limited minds keep us stuck on these lower tracks, okay? Not understanding that there are an infinite number of options and possibilities available to us, but we have to create we have to take action. We have to create new material. We have to start highlighting a different sector of reality in the alternative space. So understanding and gaining a deep sense of the alternative space is the first step. Second is manage your pendulums. You are not going to be able to climb off of some of these lower tracks if pendulums keep swinging and hitting you and taking your energy from you. Existing up here is you managing your pendulums properly and reserving your free energy to partake in endeavors that are going to fuel your reality and give you something in return. Okay, so that's pendulums and defeating pendulums. Again, the wave of fortune, understanding the wave of fortune, what it is, how it works, how you get on it, and in turn the induced transition, what it is, what it does, and how it can get you, okay? Induced transitions, again, are oftentimes because of a pendulum. This is about gaining awareness of why your mood is taken down, why a pendulum hooks you, why you're existing here, and how you can get yourself up here. Then we have some of the more advanced transurfing concepts that have really been the building blocks for me to take my reality to the next level. This is heart and mind coordination, finding your purpose. That's what heart and mind coordination is. It's you finding something that you wake up every single morning and feel super excited about. This is transurfing for me. I have found my life purpose, but I had to really nurture the voice of my heart in order to hear that voice and for me to be able to listen and hear that it was telling me that transurfing was my purpose, right? So every morning I wake up, I have a ton of energy to do all the different things that I do for the International Transurfing Institute, teach people and create content. And you can do this with anything, right? This is you going after any endeavor that your heart says this is it for you. And really, when you develop this voice and your heart is telling you this is it for you, the whole thing with money, importance with money and importance with all this stuff, it kind of just fades away, because really finding your life purpose and going after that is the most deeply satisfying feeling ever. And you realize that money is just a byproduct, right? It's not really that important. It's more about finding your purpose. Goals and doors, right? Figuring out which goals are intended for you and having the energy to go after them on a daily basis. Again, you cannot see your doors, you cannot go after your goals if you are existing on these lower tracks with no free energy. It just doesn't work like that. You have to get yourself sort of amped up with energy so you can go through those doors, you can go after those goals, and you can take action. Inner and outer intention, this is another one. I used to use a lot of inner intention in my old life, and it depleted me. It depleted me emotionally and spiritually and physically, and I was tired all the time, and I felt like life was hard, and I constantly felt that life was a struggle and life was a battle. And once I realized the power of outer intention, right? The flow, that's really two concepts that go side by side. Outer intention and the flow, it's you letting go, it's you trusting your world, that your world is going to provide for you the options, the signs, and then you using outer intention to go after the things that you truly want in your life, in your reality, and having that abundance of free energy to keep yourself going, right? I would not be able to do what I'm doing today with ITI if I was using inner intention. It just would not happen, and the whole thing would fall apart rather quickly. So again, to wrap this up, what you really want in this world, you got to sit down and ask yourself what you really, really, really want. What do you need in regards to financial security? What do you need in regards to your professional world, your romantic world, your social world? How and why don't you have those things today? Okay, so a lot of times, it's because of these lower tracks. It's because of limited thinking again, but most of all, it's a matter of getting some free energy for yourself to propel yourself to some of these higher tracks, because on these tracks up here is more of what you want. This is exactly what happened for me. Again, I was down here and I was highlighting all the information and evidence in that sector of reality that proved to me my theory, right? Life was hard. Things weren't fair. I didn't have what I wanted, and I was looking to my environment, my reality, and I was placing blame. I was thinking that my circumstances were fucked up, or something was, my reality or my environment was doing something to me. And in fact, all I really needed to do was change my thinking, right? Start resonating at a higher frequency and accept that I am the creator of my own reality, right? Take accountability. The first step to getting yourself up here is to take accountability that it's your thoughts and your actions and your intention that gets you up here. In turn, your thoughts and your actions and your intention keep you down there. So I will wrap it up now. Please like this video if you do like it, and please comment. Thanks so much, you guys. I really enjoy giving these videos. Remember, my videos are by request now only. So if you have a topic that you would like me to discuss, I will add it to my list. Thanks, guys.